I'm going to show you guys a few pieces today that I feel like you really need in order to start your bone adventure. And of course, I put most of these things into the bone bags. Like, most important is 2 mandibles, one for positive and one for negative speech. You can mark them if you want to. One's negative and one's positive, or mine, one has a missing tooth and the other one doesn't, so that's how I differentiate in this one. Having a wishbone is actually really good too, because this can tell you what your client is wishing for, and maybe you can kind of show them how they can get to that wish. Another thing you need to have is a dice in your bowl, okay? All these numbers mean different things, and it's very super important. And this one is bone, yes, but you don't have to use bone. It can be any dice, you know. Now, when it comes to the querent and people in my bowls, I always use shells. I use shells for kids, I use shells for ancestors, I use shells for the person that's asking the question. Shells are awesome, so I'm just telling you. That's what I use all the shells for. Another thing you need to have in your bowl is a tooth. And I know this one's huge. This came from a horse. This can be for wisdom, or it can be for a plague. Of course, depending on what's around it, as you know. Now, it's important to have a bracelet inside of your bag. That way you have a set of boundaries. And the way this lands, if it's all twisted up and nothing can get in there, and your client has no boundaries. If it's nice and open and things are falling in there, that's the most important thing that you need to tell them, are things that are falling in here. Unless you have a Raccoon or diamond, then you look there too. But have something for family, and I always use hearts when it comes to family. I also have a heart in that big bowl for a family that is doing shadow work together. So it's very important to have something for family in there. You also need like a hand, and you can use a baby doll hand or something like that. It doesn't have to be extra like me, okay? Yeah, it's a lizard foot. But whatever lands in here is what your client has grasped or what they're trying to get to. And so having a hand is very important. Also, having a key can show you where there are opportunities in your client's life, okay? So this is very important as well. You will need a thimble to talk about work. I mean, you can really use any piece for work, but the thimble has been used as a work piece. Work, school, / whatever, okay? Then we have the ring, which a ring stands for relationships. It can be a friendship, a coworker relationship. It could be any kind of relationship, not just a loving relationship, because most of the time people use the Raccoon bacculum for the loving relationship. This is another good one to have in your bag. Another good one is to have a cross. If it's up this way, that means you're going to be blessed. If it's turned this way, that means it's a sacrifice, okay? Now, having a lucky hand root in your bowl like this little guy, he can tell you when somebody's going to come into a lot of money, okay? The little deer antler slice stands for the home and hearth. I use an alligator scale as protection. A rib bone stands for constriction. You will need a bone for voice, and I just chose this one because it's just a random bone. The skull and crossbones means fears and anxieties. My little guy broke. But yeah, fears and anxieties, so you'll need something like this. And like I was saying, the arrows, having arrows in your bowl can help you if you get lost. They will point you in the right direction. I have like 2 or 3 arrows in my big bowl just in case I need to maneuver around the throw and I lose my place, like a kid busts in or something like that. And of course, I have something that represents the family tree, which is a tree, obviously. And so you'll need stuff like that and other bones that have to do with emotions like depression, happiness, self-love, self-care. All those kinds of things are really good to put in there too. But this is the basic set that I would say somebody could start throwing with. Although the bags that I sell, I feel like I overwhelm y'all. Like, I think I gave y'all guys too much, but I'm going to keep doing me. So, and y'all can just use what you want to use. But anyways, I hope that helps you on your new journey. And if you do need a bag, check out my shop. I got bones and shells and all kinds of stuff coming in next week. So I'll be all set. Much love.